right, welcome back to the Longevity Train Now, Age Later podcast. My name's Ralph Caggiano, certified nutrition coach and personal trainer and nutrition coach through the National Academy of Sports Medicine, NASM. And to my left is my lovely wife, Renee. What we will be doing is we'll discuss a topic where you'll get the trainer's point of view and the trainee's point of view on whatever we happen to be talking about during that week.
I like that. Trainee.
The trainee,
I am
yeah.
your trainee.
Right. So, coach versus coachee. Is it a coachee?
Coachee.
I don't know. I made that up.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what are we going to talk about today, Renee? As Cody Rhodes would say, what do you want to talk about?
What do I want to talk about?
Yeah.
I want to talk about muscle building, specifically getting bulky.
You want to talk about getting bulky?
I want to talk about myths
Okay.
surrounding muscle building.
So we are going to discuss, this is like a common theme. Lately, this is funny because this has been coming up a lot. And what is even funnier is that I've been hearing it here at Longevity where people are saying, I don't want to lift heavy because I don't want to get bulky. And this is from men and women, which is, I expected it from women because back in the 80s and 90s, you would hear that a lot. Like, hey, we just want to tone. We don't want to build. We just want to tone and look firm. Long, lean muscle has been something that's how it's been described. That the preferred look, right?
Right.
So there's a fear that lifting heavy makes you bulky, and so we're going to discuss that. And like I was saying, we've been hearing that here, but it's also been popping up a lot lately, even on the social media feeds I've seen.
All over my Instagram feed.
Yeah. It's almost like it's been listening to our discussion, and now all of a sudden it is the discussion. So we'll get into that, and I'll give you my point of view. Renee will give you her point of view. But let's get right into it first and just talk about, what is bulky? What does that even mean?
What is bulky?
Yeah, well, what do you think it means to you?
Well, what's the definition of bulky?
Why are you quizzing me? I am the quizzer, not the quizzee.
I'm supposed to answer the questions.
Oh, okay. So listen, the definition of bulky, per the dictionary, would be something that's large, heavy, awkward shaped, something that can even be on the smaller side, or not small, but something that can be lighter, not heavy, but still awkward to store or move around because of its weird shape. But basically large, heavy. It could be muscular. That's part of the definition. So when we're talking about the human body, it could be muscular. And then that brings into what I think is some ambiguity. Now, when you think of bulky, what do you think about?
Traditionally, I would have thought a power lifter, somebody who competes in strongman competitions, bulky.
Right.
Maybe a little higher body fat, large muscles, maybe not a whole lot of definition, just kind of a big, strong,
Hulky
bulky man.
Yeah.
That's what comes to mind when I think of bulky.
What about Mr. Olympia?
Not bulky, no.
Really?
No, I never thought of them as bulky. I just thought of Mr. Olympia as completely shredded.
Because these days, then they went through that period with the mass monsters.
Yeah.
When Dorian Yates was coming up.
Ridiculously huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
They were I would say those guys, in my mind.
They were freaks.
They're freaks, yeah.
Freaks.
I would call those guys, though, more on the bulky side of the muscular developed side. I'd say that they look bulky because sometimes their midsections are very blocky and they protrude and everything. So to me, that when I think of like a bulky person, I think of like you. I think of strongman competitors, big time power lifters.
I think of since we're wrestling fans, I think of Randy Orton.
Oh, you think of Randy as bulky?
I think of Randy as kind of bulky. He's got a, kind of a big blocky midsection, just a really large human being.
Yeah.
I think of that when I think of
lots
bulky.
of mass.
Just mass. Yeah. Massive. It's a massive human.
Massive human. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense to me. And and when I think of it, like I said, I've been fortunate enough to grow up and be around some power lifters and everything. So I always think of that too as a lot of bulk, Not a lot of definition. They wouldn't be considered shredded, anything like that, really defined, but they do have big muscles.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, not not overly. They don't look like they're overly in shape,
No.
if that even
No.
makes any sense.
Oh, it
Let me
does.
get a little sip of this here.
Yeah.
So I can start burping on cue.
Oh, that'll be lovely.
Carbonated water helps keep you full if you're on a if you're trying to cut down your body fat.
That's a
Right.
good tip.
That's a
for-
little
maybe for a
that's a
future,
little side tip, yeah.
yeah, for
Well,
a future podcast.
yeah, you know what? Maybe
Tips and tricks.
tips and tricks. So anyway, so we get back to this topic of bulky and whether or not lifting heavy is going to make you bulky. And first of all, it's funny because so I can throw this person down because he's my father, but it's really funny. My dad just turned 79 years old. And one of the things he says quite frequently is, "Hey, when I'm training him, he says, "Hey, I don't want to lift too heavy because I don't want to get bulky. I don't want my legs to get too big." And it's so funny because he does not have big, like his legs are not big muscular legs
He has
at this point of his
small-
life.
Small legs.
His legs are not big and muscular, and he's 79, and so we really want those legs to be strong. And unfortunately, right now we're working to get that strength back because they're also not very strong. So they're not big and they're not strong, and we need to get them stronger. And the reasons why you want to get stronger legs or stronger period, no matter what part of your body, as you age, is because of bone mineral density.
Mhm.
Things like osteopenia, and then
Mhm.
which leads you into osteoporosis, can be
Mhm.
a big factor for many, many people as they age. Not to mention sarcopenia, the muscle wasting that happens, age-related muscle loss. That's going to happen starting after the age of 40, and then it kicks in really big time after 65. So that's why we also lift and do resistance training. What else? What do you think about why do you think it's important?
What do I? You just kind of hit me with, "What do you think?" And
What do you think?
suddenly my mind went completely blank.
Yeah.
I was like, "What do I think about
What do you-
what?"
What do you think, Renee? When you think, what do you think?
Oh,
That's rude.
you don't even want to know.
No.
It's just it's scary black hole up there.
Yeah, so then I'm going to give you a pass on that one.
Thank you.
Okay. But no, so we want to build muscle, right? We want to build that muscle, and honestly, we'll get into a little bit how, building muscle, some people think of that as getting bulky, but here's the thing that I want to stress real quick. You've been working out now consistently with weights for how long?
4 years.
4 years. Okay. In that 4 years, well, let's just take it as of recent.
Mhm.
Have you always pushed, like, what was your goal when you first started? Was it to get stronger?
It was to get stronger.
Okay. So how did we get you to get stronger?
Progressive overload.
Excellent.
Consistency.
Consistency.
So I lift weights probably 4 times a week,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been doing that for 4 years straight.
And do you try to restrict yourself in the amount of weight you lift?
No.
No, you don't,
I
right?
try to lift as heavy as I can.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to make adjustments.
Oh, how old
for
are you, by the way?
57.
57.
57.
Okay.
So I've been doing this since I was 53,
Okay.
and it has not made me bulky.
In fact, it's made you smaller.
It's made me smaller. I'm considerably smaller than I was 6 months ago.
Yep.
And that part of that is due to adjustments in my diet.
Right. But lifting
Yeah.
heavy has not made you
No.
get huge.
No.
How come?
How come?
Yeah, it doesn't it seem, I mean, if lifting heavy makes
You would-
people bulky,
you
how
would
come you aren't
think,
bulkier?
right?
Yeah.
No.
What a shame.
I know. I would like to be I would like to be bigger. I would like to have bigger muscle, but I don't want to be bigger overall.
Right.
I want to be lean. I want to be toned. Those are
There
things
it is. You just
you
said it.
have to build muscle to have those things.
Yeah.
And you have to shed body fat.
Yes, you do. So I want to give my perspective as well. When I lift, I try to lift as heavy as I can, and I try to aim for anywhere between 6 to 12 reps when I do a set. Sometimes even low. I do sometimes to try to push my strength to the next, the next plateau or next level. I would try to, I might even bounce down to a single here and
Mhm.
there, or at least triples when it comes to pushing it so that I can get to that next, next higher amount of weight that I want to play
Mhm.
with, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And guess what? My weight, my size, what it's happened, it's not gotten any bigger.
No.
I've gotten a little bit stronger,
You've gotten stronger. You look more muscular, but you've dropped a lot of body fat. And well, not a lot. You didn't have a lot of body fat to
but
drop
I
to
have
begin
dropped
with,
a lot of
but you've
body
dropped
fat
a lot of weight
and size.
and size
Right now, I'm sitting here in a pair of 32-inch waist jeans, and
that are
they
about
are,
an inch and a half too
yeah,
big in the
I
waist.
could probably wear 30s right now.
Yeah.
How embarrassing. Am I even a man anymore? That's what I want to know. Have I lost my male classification? My arms are about the same. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think they've really shrunk a lot, but
No.
they're definitely more defined.
Yeah.
Same with the chest, shoulders, back. There's a lot more muscular definition, but my body weight is down considerably, which
Yeah.
means
Same.
I'm not the same size at
No.
all. And I lift as heavy as I possibly can, and I don't hold back. I try to push it heavier and heavier as long as I can do it safely with correct form and not injure myself.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Yeah, and you do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you are down
24 pounds.
24 pounds, and
And
how much body fat percentage?
8%.
8% drop in body fat. And
Mhm.
that's really happened since what date?
Middle of February.
So you're not getting bulky and you're
No.
lifting heavy.
Yeah.
You're actually
Yeah.
getting smaller, leaner,
And I see
and better
more
muscle.
muscle definition than I saw before. I mean, I used to see a little bit when I would, flex my bicep, but
Yeah,
it was pretty shapeless. It was just kind of big.
right.
It was kind of big and shapeless, and there wasn't a whole lot of definition.
Yeah.
But now I see abs, some abs.
Yeah.
I see definition in my legs where I
Mm-hmm.
didn't used to see them.
Yep.
I see definition in my chest,
Yeah.
my back, everywhere. But it hasn't made me big.
It hasn't made you big. Nope.
Mm-mm.
And I think the same thing. And I've worked out with a lot of people over the years that have also, they've not really gotten big. The only time any of us really got big is because our nutrition was trash. Then we got bulky. That's what I would consider bulky, adding a lot more fat mass, not lean mass. So, and I'm going to talk to you about that a little bit too, as far as what to expect when it comes to adding that kind of mass, whether it be lean or fat,
Mm-hmm.
how that happens, different levels of trained people versus untrained or deconditioned, that kind of thing. But yeah, you have to eat in a surplus. They've science, research, whatever you want to get into, personal, observational. It always shows yes, you have to add a little more food to your diet. It's better to not add too much because then you're just going to add fat, excuse me, to your body. And we're not looking to add body fat. We're usually looking to add lean mass because that's healthy. That actually helps your whole system,
You actually have
your
to feed the
metabolism.
muscle.
Yeah, you got to feed
You're
the
not
muscle.
going to grow if you don't feed it.
That's right. But it's funny because you only need a little bit. Like it's really recommended to keep it around 200 calories over maintenance to build
I
good
actually
quality
just
tissue.
read that a little while ago.
You did.
I did some research myself.
She
So I didn't
researched.
seem like a total idiot.
Oh,
Aw.
yeah. So yeah, it's a couple hundred calories over maintenance, but that's the trick too, because you got to figure out what is your maintenance, and a lot of people have trouble with that because you gotta, you gotta actually scale your food. You gotta pay attention to it. You gotta log it, and you gotta do it for a while weighing yourself
Mhm.
to figure out where your maintenance really is at, because it's not an exact science. You can't just plug in the numbers. I mean, you're going to plug in the numbers to begin with, and it's going to kick out a recommended caloric intake,
Mhm.
but it's not going to be exact. You're going to need to look at that as a guide and a jumping off point.
And it may not be on point.
It probably isn't on
Yeah.
point. I mean, usually you need to be conservative with it. It's going to say, oh, like for me, it'll say, we recommend, Ralph, that you eat 3,600 calories a day to maintain.
Mhm.
Well, at that rate, I am definitely going to gain.
Mhm.
I can tell you that for a fact. I've been playing around with this for a while, and I know that at about 3,000 calories, I'm probably going to maintain. But after about 3,200, I'm definitely going up in weight. So I keep it around 2,800 to 3,000.
Mhm.
I try to hit those numbers every day with, of course, prioritizing my protein. But again, I'm lifting heavy, I'm eating at that, and I'm not getting bulky.
No, you're getting leaner
Yeah,
all the time.
I'm just getting leaner, which is what I want. I want to be lean, and because to me that's more appealing, to my eye, I guess, and
It's
to my health.
and it's healthier.
Yeah, it's healthier for me. Carrying a lot of extra weight at this point after the age of 54 isn't really. It's not that you don't want to carry. I shouldn't say that, because if you're somebody who is natural and you're carrying a lot of muscle mass, good for you. You need to keep that muscle mass as long as you can. That is healthy. And if you happen to be a bigger person, some people are bigger people. And if
Mhm.
they can carry that lean, good quality muscle mass on them, they're going to be better off for longevity purposes over somebody that's carrying a lot of fat.
Most
Fat
of us
is,
have to work at maintaining what we've got
yeah,
and try to grow it, but it grows so slowly.
it does. It grows slow.
Yeah.
So since you mentioned that, let's talk about that, what you can expect when it comes to getting bulky or adding muscle to your body. So if you are new to training
Mhm.
and you want to add 15 to 20 pounds, that's the best time and the best chance you have of adding that in a year.
Right.
After that, it really diminishes quite a bit. And then you can consider age a factor at that point as well. It's funny, a newly, like a new lifter, a new trainee that's coming into it, no matter what their age is, has a really big benefit to adding muscle mass right off the bat for the first year.
Is that because they're not conditioned
Yeah,
yet?
I
Okay.
think so. I think that's what it is, really. I think it's that they've never trained their muscle, they never put it
Okay.
under the stimulus, and
So
now
it's
they
going to
are.
respond to that.
Now, the caveat again, though, is the nutrition side of it.
Okay.
So you still need to eat appropriately.
Right.
And then the older you are, there's other factors. You start having decreased muscle protein synthesis at a point. You need to eat more protein than the younger cat has to eat, just because your body doesn't synthesize it the same way. Now that means you have to pay attention to the protein you're taking in.
Right.
And then what type of leucine levels does it have? It gets into a lot of, yeah, it gets really
my head
deep.
spin.
If you really are geeking out on it, then it can be a lot. And it can be kind of fun to do, but for the general population just trying to stay healthy, don't get into the weeds like I'm talking about right now. Just eat a healthy diet. Please trust me on that. You'll be happier, less crazy. So lean proteins, fruits, vegetables, keep it simple. But yeah, so for that new trainee, if they're eating properly like that and they're lifting 3-4 days a week, man, they're going to see gains big time, whether they're young or older. And they found that even people in their 70s can build muscle just at a very slower rate.
Right.
But they have to do all the things right.
Right.
And that's the trick too, because you have bad habits at that point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We know that too.
Yeah.
Well, that's always funny to hear. But so your rates of muscle building decrease though as you become more trained, and then as you get older as well. But you can still build muscle. It's been proven. It's been shown with a lot of different things, different tests, I should say, or science research. So, yes, what do they say? Don't despair. There's still muscle building in your future if you want it.
Okay.
Yeah. So back to the myth of making you bulky, we got to talk about it because some people's definition of bulky is different anyway than others. Some people will think bulky just means to look muscular. They might
Right.
look at me and say, well, he looks bulky because you have muscle definition.
Right.
They don't like that.
Right.
But
Some people don't want to see muscle definition.
they don't want to see it.
Some
They
people
think it's gross.
that just, long, skinny limbs is tone
Mm-hmm.
or toned. It's not.
Yeah.
You got to have muscle for that.
And that's where, I think that's where different modalities come into play too, where people will, people that don't want to look like they lift weights, because that is a segment of the population. I
Mhm.
don't want to look like I lift weights, but I would like to be strong. You hear that too.
Mhm.
Okay. So those are probably your Pilates type of people. Not saying anything bad about Pilates. Um, but Pilates is a resistance training form. How
Sorry.
dare you kick
Sorry,
me?
didn't mean to
No,
kick you.
Pilates is a resistance training form. And it's good, but it's not going to build your bone density up like lifting heavy weights is going to. So there's that. And they have scans that show that as well. More porous bones over people who lift heavy weights. So when you get older, you know, lifting heavy weights, that's where it's at.
I think the thought of lifting heavy weights scares a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think especially women have been conditioned to think that they should be lifting 5 pound weights and doing 15 to 20 reps, and that's going to give them what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to do anything for them. Well,
Yeah.
okay, it might do something for them, but
Will it tone them?
it's not going to tone them
It
because
might
it's
a
not
little
going
bit,
to
I guess,
maybe a
maybe.
little, but
You still got to do so many. You
it's
got to do so many reps then.
yeah, yeah. I mean, can you imagine just 5 pound weights doing 20 reps? Like,
No, because
just
it's not enough weight.
it's not enough weight, and
Yeah.
geez, that would be so boring.
So boring. I remember, this is kind of funny that you mentioned 5 pound weights, because I do remember, and this goes way, way back. But one time on the Today Show, when I was younger, Katie Couric was talking about her
I
workouts and how
remember.
I make sure I only lift 5 pounds, whatever dumbbells,
Right.
and how she was telling everybody how that's how she stays in great shape and all this. I mean, she's just a very small little person. It's like whatever. So,
I remember we have like some 5 pound weights.
mhm,
We've got some 3 pound weights. I think those were specific for like a rehab or
rehab
something.
stuff.
Yeah, when I
That's
was
what we use them for.
recovering from a
Shoulder.
surgery. Yeah,
Yeah.
shoulder or elbow. Um, and some of those have their place in maybe warm ups, but they're not going to help you build muscle.
Yeah. No. So when people get confused about you have to understand where they're coming from when they talk about being bulky versus, being muscular, being defined, whatever it happens to be. There is some ambiguity in the whole definition of bulkiness based on the person's perception of what it
Hmm.
means to them. So I would say that in my mind, as a trainer as well, lift heavy, it's not going to make you bulky,
No.
but you need to have that conversation with your trainer too. What are your goals? Because your trainer or your coach, however you want to refer to them, um, they should be able to help you achieve your goals no matter what. And they will probably want you to lift a little heavier. But if that's not your jam, they can usually work around it. So for me, there's some people that really prefer a TRX workout. No problem. We'll do a TRX workout. That is when I think of toning. I think of things like that, suspension trainers, calisthenics, stuff like that. I don't think of weight training. So if that person is not into weight training, they don't want to do it, that's, hey, you got to meet them where they're at.
Now, is that going to help them build muscle mass that's going to protect them as they age?
They will be able to build muscle doing those things, and they will build some strength, but it gets a little tricky when it comes to the progressive overload with it. You have to start doing a little more unilateral work. You have to be a little more creative with how you implement that modality. So it can't just be the basic bilateral movements constantly. You have to change angles and whether or not you use the one, when I say unilateral, that just means like one leg or one arm at a time, or maybe contralateral, maybe an opposing, left arm, right leg kind of thing, something like that. So you have to get tricky with it. You got to program things like that. Stabilization, tempo drills where you start slowing down the tempo. That can help build muscle too and stimulate growth without adding heavy weights. It's just and it's great to have a phase of training like that, by the way. So we in the NASM we would probably call that like a phase 1 training where we work on stabilization and muscular endurance before we start to move stabilization, endurance, and then into muscular endurance and hypertrophy, and then strength and max strength, power. We kind of go through these steps, but believe it or not, at the stabilization endurance phase, you can build muscle.
Interesting.
Yeah. But we would probably consider that more of the toning type of
Is that
exercises.
especially true with somebody who's starting out?
Oh yeah,
Not, I mean, that wouldn't work for somebody who's been
trained.
training for 4 years.
Probably not. No, probably not. And especially if they have been throwing that into like phases of training,
Mm-hmm.
then you would probably not get that the same way. Yeah. Good question.
You're welcome.
Yeah. You did do some research, huh?
Maybe.
What else? So, so the myth of being bulky, I should say, from lifting heavy weights, it could just depend on how you're viewing it, right?
I think it's interesting that when men say they don't want to get bulky,
Yeah.
I think that they confuse it maybe with looking like a bodybuilder,
Yeah.
looking jacked.
Huge.
You know,
Yeah.
some guy on gear who's just, muscles on top of muscles.
Yeah.
That's just not going to happen.
No, I agree.
Not without a lot of assistance.
Yeah. So we had somebody who came by the other day and is 54 years old, like myself, likes to do some kettlebell workouts, but they said they'd keep it light because they don't want to get bulky. Now, this person is losing weight right now. First of all, I'd like to say I'm extremely proud of this person because I think they don't work with me, by the way, but what a great story. Like
Mhm.
this person is 54 years old and has decided, hey, I need to turn it around, man. I have been carrying way too much body fat. I want to get back in shape. I'm at a certain point in my life where I need to take my health seriously, and they're doing it. And I love those stories. I love rooting for people.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you work with me or not. I will cheer you on the entire way. But this
Yeah.
person is somebody I like anyway. I just think that he's a good person.
Yes. Yes.
And so he's telling us his story, and he talked about enjoying the kettlebell training, which I think is awesome. It's not for everybody, but he likes it and he's doing it and he's working it into like a conditioning type of workout from what he told me.
Mhm.
Now, he said, though, I don't want to lift them too heavy because I don't want to get bulky. I'm afraid I'll get bulky. And I told him, I said, man, I am smaller than I ever have been, totally. And I lift as heavy as I can. And I think that surprised him,
Probably. Yeah.
because I don't think he really expected that. But he's, I told him, I said, you got to eat in a surplus. There's other things you have to do to get bulky. But if you're also in a caloric deficit like he is now, and you're doing the exercises, you're not going to bulk up.
No.
Even if he could keep doing the same exercise he's doing, he'll get stronger.
Mm-hmm.
He'll get more muscle definition, but he's not going to actually get any bigger size.
No.
And so that's, in my mind, that's where the bulk myth is at.
Yeah.
It's like you're not actually going to get bigger. You're not going to have more volume. But you might have some better definition.
Yeah.
But if you don't like that, then then that's a problem.
It could confuse somebody. They're like, "Oh no, I see biceps.
Right. Oh,
I'm getting bulky."
I might be getting a bicep vein. Creepy.
And I think some women feel that way.
Yeah.
They don't want to flex and see a bicep.
No.
They don't want to see a horseshoe when they,
pop that
pop their
tricep.
tricep.
Yeah.
I want to see those things.
Yeah.
I want to be able to pop my pecs.
Yeah, I know you do.
Not all women like to,
If
like to
you
see that.
people only knew what I have to deal with over here on the daily, my gosh.
Post workout in the mirror.
Yeah, they always talk about, the guys are always
making 'em
flexing
dance.
everywhere. Yeah. Meanwhile, we got somebody over here trying to show me how she can move her pecs independently. Well, okay, good for you.
Well, I can't move them independently yet.
Okay.
I can move them together.
Well, that's a plus.
Just not independently.
We'll talk about that on another podcast too. Train Now, Age Later, After Dark podcast. Jeez.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah. So, okay. So
I
let's
threw
just,
you off.
you threw me off.
I
Yeah.
threw you off.
I don't know.
You and me.
What else is there to really talk about on this one? I don't think there's much else. I think, is there anything you want to add in?
That I can think of, but I wish more women understood how important it is as we age.
Yeah.
Especially in perimenopause and in menopause. how fast that muscle declines and how important it is to build it up as best you can. Um, it's going to carry you through to into your future.
Mm-hmm.
It's we say here our tagline is train now, age later. That's going to help you. That's
Yeah.
going to keep you going. It's going to keep building muscle, is going to keep you mobile. Hopefully, it's going to keep you out of the nursing home. It's going to help you
Yes.
get off the toilet. It's going to help you carry your groceries, pick up your grandchildren, get off the floor,
Mm-hmm. Get on the floor
get
to
on
play
the
if you want
floor.
to.
It's going to protect you.
Yeah.
And I wish more women understood that. You don't have to look like Mrs. Olympia or Miss Olympia. Um, you
Yeah.
don't have to look like you're jacked,
Right.
but you're going to look so much better if you train, lift heavy, build muscle, shed body fat. You're going to look so good.
Yeah.
You're going to look
And you're gonna feel great.
toned. You want to look toned? That's how you get toned.
Yeah.
You lift heavy weights.
Yeah. The nutrition side of it's what's gonna make you look shredded.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's the key to getting the real deep definition. If you don't have that, you lift and you eat you eat your regular diet, you're just, you'll be firm, and if that's what you want, right?
Well, and who doesn't want that?
I don't know.
I mean,
Somebody who likes to be squishy.
honestly, I was not happy squishy. I didn't like being squishy. That's why I made a change.
Yeah, me
Sometimes
too.
I look in the mirror now and I go, who is that?
True.
I don't even recognize the person standing in front of me sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
It is a good thing. It means your work's paying off,
Yeah.
you know? And
It's,
that's the whole point, right? You put
yeah.
in the work.
I put in the work. I want to build muscle, but at the very least, I want to retain the muscle that I've built. I don't want to lose any of that. And it only goes up in tiny little increments,
But,
but
I'm
it's
glad you
going
said
up.
that again. So, what you can expect when you're a new lifter is yes, if you're eating right and doing everything else right, you can go 15, 20 pounds. Psh, it can happen. It's a lot, but it can happen. 10 pounds is probably more of a acceptable value to have in your head. Genetics play a part in this, by the way. So I'm not throwing out genetics. Genetics do play a part in this. Your body is going to look a certain way, shape anyway, like your body type is pretty much predetermined. You can just improve upon it depending on how you train and how you eat. So you don't have to just give into it and let it all fall apart just because aunt so and so looks a certain way or your parents look a certain way or whatever and you feel like I'm that same body type. That doesn't have to be your destiny. You can always work to improve upon it. You just may be somebody that's a larger human in certain areas. Maybe you have bigger bone structure. Who knows?
Maybe your bottom half, is a little mismatched, but
Are we talking from
we're talking from experience.
yeah,
Got a
personal stories here?
strong mountain goat bottom half.
Yeah.
You know,
Some guys are tall, they have long bird legs, and then they have a bigger upper body.
and they're always complaining about the size of their legs, but their legs are shredded.
Yeah, legs can be lean and defined, but then they can also be on the smaller side. But hey, whatever. So you just work with what you got. But so the newer lifter puts on that good amount of muscle in a year. The trained lifter, you know, when you get to be our age, you really, I don't want to give you a complete number, but let's just say 2 pounds of lean tissue, real build, real muscle that lasts, skeletal muscle is a good amount to put on. It's funny how you can put on so much more fat because you can eat yourself into putting on tons of fat mass. But to put on muscle, lean muscle without putting on all that fat, you're lucky if you get a couple pounds of muscle on you after the age of 50 a year. You have to work very hard at it. Your nutrition has got to be on point, but it can be done. So you got to lower your expectations. The main thing is also understanding that when you first start putting on muscle, we'll call it muscle based on like DEXA scans and everything. Sometimes a lot of that doesn't happen to actually be muscle. It can happen to be fluid retention. I think it's based on a lot of things. If you're supplementing with creatine at the beginning too, a lot of water retention, different things like that that can affect what looks like lean muscle that you're putting on, when in fact it isn't all 100% lean tissue yet. So you have to keep that in mind too, and don't get really frustrated by the scale as you do this. But we're not talking about, we're really not talking about that too much today. We just want to talk about the heavy lifting. So yeah, I would suggest from a personal trainer standpoint that you don't freak out about lifting heavy. You're not going to turn into the Incredible Hulk. I've said this before, unless you're using anabolic compounds and, you're still lifting, you're probably not going to be bulky. You're just probably not.
And can we mention also that being on HRT
Mm-hmm.
or TRT,
Yep.
that is not automatically going to
Bulk you up.
bulk you up.
True.
I mean, we both take testosterone.
Yeah.
And it's helped with my hormone balancing,
Right.
but I don't know that we could say it's
So,
helped me gain muscle.
and that's a very important point to put out there as well. So I use a topical testosterone cream, very low dose. Usually when they do my blood work, my testosterone overall numbers are still in the low end every time. So it's just enough to keep me kind of in that low normal range. Like I said, I work out really hard. I started using that like at the age of, I think I was almost 51 when I actually started using that,
Yeah.
because at first it was just kind of monitoring my blood work, and then you're on an estrogen as well as a testosterone and a progesterone.
Yeah. And I've been doing that for 4 years.
Yeah. Now the thing is, like Renee was just saying too, it's not magic. It doesn't all of a sudden make you bulky, and it doesn't all of a sudden make you thin. If your nutrition sucks, guess what? It does nothing. It does absolutely nothing for you. What it does is it might give you a little more energy, maybe a little more sex drive, that kind of thing. So, and those are questions that before anybody jumps on hormone replacement therapy, you need to be with a good clinician that understands the hormones and that asks the right questions, and that you give appropriate answers, honest answers on how you really feel and what's really bothering you.
How do you really eat?
How do you really eat? Don't lie to yourself and lie to them.
Are you telling them you work out 6 days a week and you work out twice a week?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Because some people's goals are, they're hoping it's going to be like that magic elixir. So they're going to say what they think the clinician needs to hear. Yeah. So that they can get hopped onto TRT or HRT, however you want to. HRT, we use that term for everybody, hormone replacement therapy. Men, generally, we talk about it as TRT. But it's not magic. I know plenty of people that are on it, and if they're not doing everything right, it really does nothing for them, except for just keep them feeling normal.
Yeah.
And that's what its main purpose is, make you feel normal and capable still.
Because women should have testosterone anyway.
Yes.
It's naturally occurring, but as we age, that level goes down too.
Yep, just like men.
So all of those levels need to be balanced out. You can tell we're huge proponents of HRT.
Well, we're huge proponents, not even of that. I don't even know if we're huge proponents of it, but we're huge proponents of making sure you are okay. But we're huge proponents of making sure you check your labs and you get comprehensive lab work done so that you can make sure you're, I'll say optimized. I mean, that's the buzzword, right? Optimized, but really just make sure that everything is in check and working well together so that you feel your best. I mean, why should you feel like crap? You shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
And you shouldn't be afraid of exploring hormone replacement.
Do your research. Yeah. Check with a clinician, somebody that knows what they're doing. We're not recommending it to anybody, by the way. This is just entertainment, educational purposes, whatever. Right. But we're not recommending that you go right out and do this. We're just recommending if you feel trashy, no energy, low sex drive. And when I say trashy, I should clarify that too. I don't mean trashy like in the weird way. I mean you just don't feel good.
Like garbage.
Yeah, you feel like garbage.
Everything's off.
Yeah. Then you should talk to your doctor, talk to your primary care physician first of all. They will blow you off immediately. And then you got to go to somebody that knows what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm right?
Yeah. You have to advocate for yourself.
Yeah. All right. We beat this horse to death.
Okay.
Guys, I want to leave you, guys and gals, I want to leave you with this. Don't be afraid to lift heavy weights. Challenge yourself. Make those bones strong. Make your body strong. Work with your coach, your trainer. You guys could come up with a good plan. If you don't want to get big and muscular, don't worry. You don't have to. You can still lift heavy weights and not get that way. You can do different modalities of training, whatever. You're going to be fine. Settle down. Don't worry about it. You're not going to get big and bulky, I promise.
It doesn't happen by accident. And
I know.
it definitely doesn't happen overnight.
It barely happens by purpose.
Yeah,
No.
this is true.
All right. So that's it. I'm going to say it now. Train now.
Age later.